Hey guys, welcome to another video. This is the pickups video for June of 2018, where we're going to have a look at all the stuff that we purchased, stuff that company sent us, but also donations from you guys. So as always, we're going to have a look at each part, and if there's anything interesting to talk about, I will do so. And as always, if you have any comments, questions about what we're looking at, leave them down below in the comment section. So the first item is a processor. This is an Athlon XP, a 1900 plus, and it was very cheap on eBay. I think it was around $6 Australian, and no one else bid, so I got it, and that included postage. So yeah, another socket A processor that I can use for benchmarking and add to the charts. The next couple of items are from Electra Mine, a German company dealing with used computer parts. I asked them if they could help us with a few parts for the Intel vs AMD Season 2 videos. So the first item is a motherboard. This is a Gigabyte socket 478 motherboard for the Pentium 4. It's the GA8PE800. And this one has the 845PE chipset, so it supports the faster 533 FSB Pentium 4s, as well as DDR333, and also hyper threading. Now I believe they're sold out on this motherboard, but in general I will put a link to the web store where you can look at other parts, and we also have a 20% discount coupon that you can use to get a little bit of a discount. I asked for a couple of processors to help us with the benchmarking, so we have a couple of processors for socket A, as well as some Pentium 4 chips for the socket 478. So let's have a look at these processors. These all have the Northwood core, but with the 533 FSB. So let's have a look what we have. So the first chip, this is a 2.26. This one is a 2.53. Here we have, this one is the next model up, a 2.66. And what have we got here? This is a 2.8 gigahertz Pentium 4. So let's have a look at these socket A processors. This one has the Palomino core. It's the XP2100 Plus, which I believe is the fastest model. Next up, we've got some AMD Duron processors. This one is the 1400, and we've got another one, which I believe is the 1600. And here we have a couple of AMD Semprons, which are basically rebranded Athlon XPs. So this is the 2200, then we've got the 2400, and here's the 2600. And this mini computer or thin client, this is something I'm really looking forward to working with and doing a video on. This was also sent to us by Electra Mine, and you're looking at only 23 euros, and that's before the discount, so you can get another 20% off that. They've got around 11 in stock, and I'm not quite sure how this is going to turn out, but I will definitely check out Windows XP, Windows 98, and also a little bit of DOS. It does come with a power supply included. It uses one of those via Eden processors with around 1.2 gigahertz. There's a DDR2 memory slot, and it's got a compact flash slot as well. So it's really easy to put the operating system on this machine. But there will be a proper video really looking at this machine in full detail. Here we have the back of the unit, and there's a lot going on. So we have Ethernet, we have digital and analog outputs, of course audio as well, serial and parallel, so you can use parallel port sound cards, for example, for DOS. The machine does have a slot for PCI, but it's missing, it's not included, one of those 90 degrees riser cards. I have ordered two, one from AliExpress, another one from eBay. Hopefully they will arrive in time, but regardless, I should be able to test the PCI slot with just the card standing up like this. But these riser adapters, they're only $6 or something like that on eBay. And if that works, I will definitely update the video. So yeah, can't wait to play around with this machine. Could be a really nice entry into compact retro gaming. Very likely it's more suitable for DOS and Windows 98, but I want to start with Windows XP because drivers and everything is just a little bit easier to do with Windows XP. And also from Electra Mine, we got a 9600 Pro. This is a Radeon card. This could be one of the fastest HEP video cards that don't require an external power connector. Now, they sold out mostly on the 9600s. They've got a Pro left and an XT. And with Electra Mine, once they sell out, the prices, they do go up a little bit. So they're very cheap on items where they have lots of stock. So just keep that in mind. I will put links to these video cards down below in the description. And remember, you can use that 20% off discount coupon. And we have a few socket 775 processors. So I bought 2 of these. These are the Celeron 450. What I like about these are single core. So that one runs at 2.2 gigahertz, but they have very good performance per clock. And they are fantastic processors to use with that ASRock motherboard that we reviewed earlier. I will put a video link on the cards. Just look at the top right hand corner of the screen if you want to check out that motherboard. And I got another processor. This is a Core 2 4700 running at 2.6 gigahertz. That's a dual core, but also uses the 800 megahertz FSB, so should also be compatible with that motherboard. And we got a few donations this month. So the first one is from Alexander. Thank you very much. He sent us some RDRAM memory, which is very awesome. I've got a few RAM bus stuff in the works. So we have 4 memory modules from Samsung. These ones are 128 megabytes, but with ECC, PC800. And down here we've got 2 512 megabyte modules, also ECC. These are 800, but with a slightly faster 4D timing. And that's actually quite important because one of the motherboards I'm planning on using will only work with this type of memory speed, so that's fantastic. So Alexander, thank you very much. We also got a few PayPal donations, and if you want to make a donation, the link will be down in the description and you can find it in most of the videos. So first up we've got Joe. He donated $20 to the channel. Next up we've got Matt. He donated $15. And finally we've got Virgilio. He donated $5. So thank you so much, guys. This really helps out with the channel. And we got a few goodies from Arctic, so let's have a look what they sent us. So you might have seen a couple of videos on small form factor machines on the channel, and I really like them. They're really good value, and you can buy these machines secondhand from eBay. And you've seen me do some mods, for example, putting in USB 3.0 or changing the video card or putting a hard drive bay. So I'm working on a video that's basically pimp my small form factor machine or something like that, where I show all these upgrades in one compact video. And I also want to show how to change the fans. One of the fans in the power supply was like making a ticking noise. It was enough to bug me, and I looked into replacing them. And so I reached out to Arctic and said, hey, can you send us a couple of 90mm fans to use in this project? And they did. So we've got 3 fans here. The F9, that's a standard fan running at 1800 RPM. Then we've got the F9 Silent. This one is quieter. It runs at only 1000 RPM. Of course, it pushes less air, but it's going to be super quiet. And then we've got the F9 PWM with PWM control, which the BIOS and the motherboard can control the speed of the fan. So it goes up to 1800 RPM. And I'm eager to see if these small form factor machines will take a standard PWM fan and if the BIOS setting actually works, or if we have to use one of the other 2 fans. And that's why I asked for a 3. So I had a few options because I wasn't sure which fan will actually work. And these are some surprise goodies that I found in the box. I didn't ask for them, but thank you very much. So we have a mobile USB fan and also some MX4 thermal compound, which is always useful. I swap out CPUs all the time, so this is extremely handy. And here we have some low profile brackets for video cards. I recently did a video with a roundup of small form factor compatible and XP compatible graphics cards for Windows XP retro gaming, and one of the cards didn't include the brackets, and I saw a comment that you can buy these on eBay, and I'm not sure why I didn't think of that. So yep, I bought a few. Now I've got them if one of these cards, and usually they come with the full height bracket and they're missing the low profile bracket. So now I've got one. It's really easy to replace. And I bought 2 more adapters. These convert from IDE, which comes from the motherboard, to SATA on the hard drive. And I really like this type of layout. You basically plug this into the back of the hard drive, just like that. And then the rear looks just like an IDE hard drive. So you put a Molex power here, and there goes your ribbon cable, which then goes into the motherboard. There's a jumper to configure master and slave. The chipset on here is a J Micron. So yep, that's found on many motherboards, and it works just fine. I've been using it with 80 gig and 160 gig hard drives, mostly under Windows XP. There's just one minor flaw with most optical drives. You can't use master slave on one IDE channel. So this works best if you're using it in master mode with just a hard drive and nothing else on the IDE channel, and then connect your optical drive to the secondary IDE channel on the motherboard. That's the best way to use this, and these don't cost too much. And the story continues with the Eastcam mini monitors that we got from Banggood. So firstly, Eastcam is probably not the best name you can give a product. So initially I asked for this model. This is a 4x3 with 1024x768, which is super retro friendly. All of these monitors, they can be powered by USB, but they come with a normal power supply as well. They've got VGA and HDMI inputs as well as AV inputs. They've got a mono output speaker. There's a remote control, so they all have that in common. Unfortunately, this one only lasted 1 day, so the build quality not that great. So I reached out to them and they sent me another one. Unfortunately, they sent me the wrong model. This is a widescreen model with 1024x600 resolution. It's a really weird resolution, and yeah, it does take full HD and it does take 1024x768. It uses a scaler, it just downscales it, but it's not what I asked for. So yeah, I'm a bit over it. They said, look, we can send you this monitor one more time, but I've got no need for 3 of these monitors. So yeah, I'm a little bit over it. Also with the price, you're looking at around 120 Australian dollars, so yeah, a little bit on the high side. I appreciate that these are IPS and everything, but an IPS panel is really not needed in a computer lab situation where you just want to see if the machine works, run a few benchmarks or whatnot. Also, the panels are glossy. Usually, look, if it's late night and you lie in bed and you watch a movie on a tablet, a glossy screen is fantastic. But in a bright computer lab, I would have much preferred a matte screen. So yeah, do let me know what you think if you used one of these monitors. Share your experiences, but there won't be a video on them. Just moving on to other projects. And here we have a very interesting motherboard from ASRock. Look at that, 3 HEP slots. So here is where you put your main video card, but then it has another HEP slot over here and a K7 upgrade slot. And you can get like an upgrade card and then use a K7, I think it's a socket 754 processor. So a very interesting motherboard, and ASRock keeps making these Frankenstein motherboards with a lot of combo stuff. But the main reason I wanted this is it's got a VIA chipset, but one of the last versions with dual channel memory, I believe it's the KT880 chipset or something like that, and it's socket A, and it has the 4-pin 12-volt connector. I don't have too many motherboards with that, so that's something I'm really interested in, measuring the power supply, and measuring the power draw. Because socket A can be quite difficult with modern power supplies, because most socket A motherboards pull most of the current from the 5-volt rail. So if you go with one of the later socket A motherboards that have a 12-volt 4-pin connector here, some of the current will actually come from the 12-volt rail, which modern power supplies are really good at. So that's something that will come soon on the channel, and the usual benchmark suite will be unleashed on this motherboard, so we will see how they compare with all the other motherboards that we have tested so far. And this is another socket A motherboard I bought from eBay. This one is from ECS. Now, we recently reviewed an ECS motherboard, and not only was it purple, it actually worked really well, so I've got high hopes for this one. I've flashed the BIOS on both of these motherboards already, and I've installed XP and I had no issues. I'm really looking forward to this one. Now, this has an Enforce 2 400 Ultra chipset, I believe, which is, I believe, the quickest chipset for the socket A platform. It has dual channel DDR memory support as well. So yeah, can't wait to benchmark this one and see how it compares with all the other motherboards. And a lot of you made some comments about buying shims for the socket A processors to avoid the corners getting chipped off. So I had a look on eBay and I found a few from the States, and I think I ordered 3 of them. These are nice copper shims. They cost a little bit more than some of the cheaper ones, but they're really well built. So yep, can't wait to try them out. And here we have 2 USB floppy disk drives. I already had one, but it died, so I had to get a few more. And I'm not quite sure what kind of video I'm gonna make with these. I've got a few ideas in mind, but yeah, you will find out soon, I guess. But I can just say that a USB floppy drive is very useful, especially on more modern machines that can boot from USB. You can do a ton of things with such a drive. And this is something different. This is actually a little OLED display, and you've seen me use these Gotek floppy emulators in a lot of my projects, and the reason I use them is they are flawless. Like there is no issue with corrupt files or with disks not reading properly, and especially if you're doing things like BIOS flashing, you want to have a reliable floppy drive. And this has to do with modding these Gotek drives. There are some really cool projects out there, and really impressed with the work that people involved in these projects are doing. It's well documented, and you can basically put some custom software on these Goteks and add more features, compatibility with the Amiga, Atari ST, and all sorts of other devices, as well as having a really nice looking display that tells you the file name and so on. But yeah, before you get your hopes up, I'm not gonna do such a video. I thought about it for a while, but I'm actually really happy with how the Goteks work as is. So I've got, I think, 5 or 6 Gotek drives at the moment. I've got 5 internal ones, so these connect to the standard floppy port on the motherboard, and I've got one that's an external version, which works just like a USB floppy drive, an external one. And between them, I can copy stuff between modern and old. And yeah, I have no issues. I have no need. I don't do anything with Commodore machines or other exotic machines. And I use a simple sheet. It's got numbers 1 to 200 or something like that. And I just write down what is on which image, and that just works for me. So yeah, I'm not going to invest money and time in modding all the Goteks. I just don't see the benefit for what I do, but I do see the appeal for you guys out there. And I had a look on YouTube. There are already some really good tutorials out there. So if you run a search, you will find such a video anyway. And that's it for the pickups video for June of 2018. If there's anything you've seen that you found interesting, you've got a comment on, or you have used in the past, do let me know down below in the comments. I always try my best to answer all your questions. And that's really it for this video. As always, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more stuff like it, please subscribe, give it a like, click on that notification bell, and leave a comment. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I shall see you soon with another one.